Good day, creative friends. Welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I'm going to play with blobs and pods. So I'm going to start by dipping into Titan Buff. I'm using a very big brush for me anyway. This is a number 12 round. I do it on purpose so that I can remain as loose as possible for the background. And for the background, I'm going to do a technique that I did about a month ago, which is just depositing blobs of color and letting them run into each other. So I have Titan Buff. I'm going to be using a bit of Blue Apatite Genuine, and I have a few drops here. I'm just going to play with that. This is the time that you kind of wish for happy accidents. So don't fret if you experience these drops. They're actually quite welcome. And do one or a few at the bottom here. I'm gonna go back in with the Blue Apatite Genuine. I'm trying to make my colors as light as possible, but I do want them to make a statement at the same time. And this is kind of like the base coat, I want to say. I'm going to use a little bit of Van Dyke Green and mix it in with the Blue Apatite. Just here and there. So just blobs. Sometimes, you know, you get a happy accident there like this when you find yourself having a blank space in the middle. I love that. I'm going to go back in again and get more Titan Buff. I do like that neutral color. And right now I can see that I've gone a tiny bit too green for my taste. So I'm going to add the Blue Apatite just to bring back that green to a level that I am comfortable with. So I'm kind of okay with that. I want to add a bit of Moon Glow here and there. It's a beautiful accent color and I love it. I tend to be on the careful side with it, however, because it's easy to go too dark at some point. So I've got a nice ratio of color and neutral blobs right there. Maybe add a tiny bit more Titan Buff around here. I'm trying not to make it too rectangular, like a perfect rectangle. That's not what I want. All right, I like this. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry. Now keep in mind, whenever you play with watercolor, the colors are going to dry much lighter. So if you think this is too dark, don't panic yet. So this is nice and dry, and already I am seeing one area that I can add a pod. I've sketched a few in my sketchbook here, so these are just a few examples. So I'm going to create one just here. So here's one, and I'm using my pencil to create the shape, and I like doing that. I love the look of lead pencil over watercolor. What I want to do here at the bottom is do some line work. Again, using my pencil. I was going to say pen, but it's pencil. Now, because this is done with a lead pencil, it could change eventually, or it could just stay as is. But I do like the softer look of graphite. I think it's a nice complement to watercolor. And then I'm going to add little circles. If I move my painting this side, I have a beautiful type and buff blob here that I could work with. I'm not sure exactly what I want to do to it. And if that happens, then I decide to move on. I go somewhere else. The details can be added anytime. I'm gonna do a long one here. I think I'm happy with this. I'm gonna stop here for now. The one thing I want to do is have one of the pods to be super bold and bright. And if you remember a few months ago, I used the transparent Pyro Orange on a floral piece and I absolutely love the effect. So I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna do transparent Pyro Orange with a little bit of Indian yellow mixed in. So I'm going to start with the Pyro Orange. Oh, this is such a beautiful color. I think it plays so nicely against the color that I have in the background. It makes a striking statement for sure. And I'm going to grab a tiny bit of that Indian yellow and mix it in. I'm not mixing in my palette. I'm just mixing it in on like over the color that I've added already. And then I'm gonna drop a little bit more of that orange. I'm gonna add the buff in the shape right here. Add a bit more water. And I'm kind of liking what's happening here with the colors that was underneath. I can always use a tiny bit more of the moon glow. I'm going to do the same to all the other ones. So this is all dry. I'm going to go over some of these lines with my pencil just because by applying the color The watercolor, obviously, it faded the lines a little bit, and I also wanted to add some details. Let's prep the gold. For some reason, I think my stylus is at home. I don't know why. I must have brought it for something and forgotten it there. And the ones I have are not, they're just too big for me to use. So I'm just going to take a small brush and paint them in like I used to. Now this is going to be super subtle. I was going to add gold dots here, but I think I'm going to add white dots, and here I'm going to add gold. Next, I want to add some dots inside these. So I'm just gonna do like a boop. You have to make the noise. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. Let's add a bit of decorations to this pot too. Big dilemma with the quote. I'm gonna bring out my acetates. I'm gonna lay that over my work and I'm going to write the quote. And then I'm going to play around with the placement. It goes like this. Anybody with artistic as a child. Tim Burton. Okay, so I've got the quotes written and I'm gonna see if now this obviously is written with a bigger felt tip than I would with my pencil or the black marker. I'm not sure exactly what I'm gonna be using. Obviously it's too big to use at the bottom and it would look weird. So I have to figure out a way to add it over here. Okay, I'm gonna write it with the pencil. We'll see how it looks. If I don't like it, I can always erase it. I'm just gonna give myself the first line so I don't have that first line crooked. So small. With artistic ambitions. It's always trying to reconnect with the way they saw things as a child. Tim Burton. Let's try it down here. This is not the best thing I've ever done in terms of planning, but sometimes, you know, things happen and you have to fix them, and that's the way it goes. Okay, I think I am getting too precious with it. I'm tired, I'm hungry, and I need to stop, but all in all, I like it. I'm not going to go over this in black. I think this is just for decorative purposes. It just happens that it has a meaning for me, but it's not necessarily something that I want people to read up close and personal. I will probably keep that piece for myself. And from this, I can just build other pieces because I really enjoy playing with these pods. They look like leaves right now. I'm very well aware of that, but I don't know. I call them pods because they look as if they have seeds in them. This was totally enjoyable. I fumbled around with the quote. That's mainly due in part to poor planning on my part. I did not sketch the configuration of this before I started playing around. I just did a whole bunch of pods in my sketchbook, but I did not do a composition per se. So I was a little lost, but that's okay. It was fun to do. It was totally enjoyable. There are myriads of ways you can decorate these pods. And I know some of you are going to come up with some super creative ways to do it. So have fun. I hope this was enjoyable for you to watch. I just want to, before I go, address a question that I know I'll get, and quite reasonably so. I have used graphite pencil on this extensively, so obviously, yes, I will be sealing that work. And when I do, I use Kamar Varnish by Krylon. This is what it looks like. It's a non-yellowing protection for oil, acrylic, and watercolor paintings. I usually give 2 coats. I let them air dry in between. I usually spray one day, let it dry, and spray another layer the next day, and then I wait 2 to 3 days if I'm going to be shipping a painting to somebody. I always spray my work if I'm going to sell my artwork, regardless whether I have pencil or not on it. All my work gets sealed. But if there is pencil, even though I will probably not sell this because this is meant for me with the little writing, like this is strictly for me, I will still varnish it just because it has a lot of graphite. And if I store it with my other paintings, I risk the chance of contaminating the other paintings. So that is my answer to the question that I know I will get, or that people have asked in the past. Thank you so much for watching. Obviously, I want to say a huge thank you to my awesome patrons. The month of June was quite exceptional. I started a new project on Patreon where I show how I stylize florals, and I do them once in a while, and then I put together a very quick video and I share pictures. Sometimes it's a video, sometimes it's pictures, and it's very popular. So for those that have transitioned from YouTube to Patreon, thank you so very much. I always hesitate in talking about Patreon on YouTube because I know it's not for everybody. Not everyone can support financially, and I understand that. But there are some people that are looking for ways to support their favorite creators out there, so I have to mention it. But another way to support this channel is by commenting, by hitting the like button, by sometimes letting a commercial roll until the end, or the ad until the end. That really helps. So that is free ways that you can support this channel, and it is appreciated. Don't do it all the time, but sometimes, once in a while, just let one slip by. Go do a bit of dishes in the meantime. or go get a glass of water. Anyways, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. As usual, I will have the list of supplies in the description of this video, as well as in a pinned comment. Please stay safe, healthy, and creative, and I will see you soon.